Everybody come see us on tour. We'll be in Columbus, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show.
I am Russell Dobular. This is my esteemed colleague, Keaton Weiss.
That's right.
And we have a very special guest today. He is the author of the book right up there behind me. Tom O'Neill is an award-winning investigative journalist and entertainment reporter. His work has appeared in national publications such as Us, Premiere, New York, The Village Voice, and Details. You know, it tells you a lot about the publishing industry that half of those are gone now. O'Neill is best known for his book Chaos, Charles Manson, the CIA, and the Secret History of the 60s, co-authored with Dan Piepenbring, which presents his research into the background and motives for the Tate LaBianca murders committed by the Manson family in 1969. Let's welcome Tom O'Neill.
How you guys doing?
Tom,
Hi.
how are you, man?
Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. A lot of binders on your dress. Are you working on a new book?
I'm working on a follow-up, but I don't know
Wow.
which is which of you guys.
So
I'm
my name's
Russell.
Keaton, and
You're
yeah.
Keith and you're Russell. Okay, Russell seems like he's got a few behind him too, but that looks like mostly published stuff.
I'm at my father's house now. My father had to have knee surgery last night, so I had to drive him back to his house, and I didn't have time to get back to my place for the show. So this is my temp set here.
Oh, is your house just as cluttered as mine?
Yes, actually.
Kinda,
my office
yeah.
is every bit as cluttered as that, yes.
Oh, good. That means you guys are busy.
Yes.
All right, now me and you, we have a very strange personal connection.
Yeah.
We were both New York City horse and carriage drivers, although we missed each other by a few years. You
Yeah.
were doing it in the 80s.
Yeah.
Now, so now don't name names. None of these people are public figures. But you worked at a stable that was so notorious for the working conditions that I never worked there. And I worked at most of them, but I never worked at the one you worked at.
Yeah. It was, let's just say I had mixed memories, mixed feelings about it. But it was an interesting job and a great introduction to kind of the nightlife of the late nightlife of New York. I did nights. Did you do days or nights?
Yeah, I was a night driver. Now, what I heard, because you were in the 80s,
Yeah.
by the time I started, they started to crack down.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I heard you guys just did whatever. I used to hear stories that there were bars they would bring the horses into. They would unhitch the horse and bring it into a bar.
Yeah, those stories are true. I know which bar, and I know some of the drivers that did it. It was always the Irish guys. But when I did it, it was the Wild West. There were really
Right.
no regulations, no laws.
Right.
We could go anywhere in the city. A car could go. And now it's much more restricted, which I think is good for a lot of reasons that we don't need to get into now. But it was quite the time. I actually just found a picture of
Oh, wow.
yeah, that's
That
me and
is-
Benny.
Wow.
Yeah, that was probably in the very first weeks of when I did it, because within about a month I wasn't dressing up anymore. No more tuxedo, no more nice clothes.
I followed the same trajectory.
Yeah, but it was great. I mean, it was fun. I had a lot of wild experiences and stuff that I'll never forget.
Now, back then, you still had the stroll on 9th Avenue back then, right? That was like
Yeah.
prostitutes from like all the way up 9th Avenue.
Yeah, when you talked about horses being taken into bars, sometimes some of the working people would come into the stable. And I mean, I would work with some of the women that worked along 59th Street and needed a quick place to work. And sometimes I'd take a ride in the park that doubled as kind of an assignation.
All right. So kind of
Yeah.
like an hourly motel thing.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Did you put mirrors on the walls of the carriages?
No. I tried not to. I tried to give them their privacy.
I had that happen a few times.
I got pulled over once by the NYPD when I had a prostitute and two guys in the back. And it was incredible because she was able to talk all of us out of getting arrested. And then when the two guys jumped out and were so relieved, not the two businessmen, she made them pay me. And then she said, hey, tip him, because they didn't give me a tip. And she goes, that's not a tip. And I got one of the most generous tips I ever got, thanks to that prostitute.
My mirror reference was about because, sometimes at like the hooker hotels, they'll put mirrors on the walls and the ceilings because people like to watch themselves. It's like a thrill for them. No, the reason I say that is so down the street from where I grew up, literally, there was this motel that just marketed itself overtly as a prostitute motel.
Oh, yeah.
It was this, I forget what the name of it is, and I probably shouldn't say it for the same reason you guys aren't naming names. But literally on the signage of the motel, it said, waterbeds, hourly rates, mirrors on ceiling. That's what it said on the thing. Mirrors on ceiling is part of the marketing. Come on, how obvious does it have to be? Where it says no vacancy, it said mirrors on ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah. What was that, Rochester?
No, it's Newburgh, New York, where I grew up, down the street from my house. Wow. Where I am down the street from where I am right now, actually. The motel is actually still there. Wow. I should have gotten a room there and did the show from there. I knew we were going to be going here.
Might have been a little noisy.
Everybody come see us on tour. We'll be in Columbus, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.